Hello, fellow cinephiles, and welcome back to season 2. This is the first review of season 2, and I'm very excited. It's been a whole journey, but here we are. So, welcome to the Talk Film to Me podcast, where we talk about film in Kenya and beyond. I'm your host, Mkatha. Let's talk film. Today, I have a guest. We are going to be reviewing Otis Janam. Have I said it correctly?
Yes. Yes, you have.
Otis Janam. It premiered on the 27th of March. I think the opening night of Kalasha. I was lucky enough to attend. There was a lot of laughing, and in some places I sadly did not laugh because I don't understand Lu. I felt like I missed out on some bits, and was seated next to people who clearly understood what was going on, and I'd ask them, amesema nini? Because there's a translation. Yes, I get the message, but I think some things, the funniness, I get. But anyway, I already started the discussion without introducing my guest. I have Vigilance Atieno. Vigilance Atieno, who is the producer of the film.
Yes.
Welcome, Vigilance, and thank you so much for making time, despite it being very early in the morning.
And on a Saturday. But I'm glad I've been able to make myself available, and I'm looking forward to just have a beautiful discussion about the film and just giving direction moving forward in regards to the project.
Awesome. Something interesting about this project, it was so good, it had to premiere twice.
It's going to premiere many times because I think so far in Nairobi we've done 2 premieres, and we are still organizing to have a premiere in Kisumu,
of course.
in Rusinga, Eldoret, Mombasa. Yeah. So I think by the end of the runs, I think we might just have around 10 premieres.
Damn.
Red carpet.
Red
Luo lifestyle, you must exaggerate here and there once in a while.
Okay, yes. That's good. All right. So we'll just get into the discussion. When did you guys shoot this film?
We shot it last year, April, in Rusinga. But the actual preparation, I think we started preparing for it before 2023.
Before 2023?
Yes, because the script was written 20 years ago.
Oh, what?
Yes, Dr. Zippy wrote the script 20 years ago. She kept it. And I think sometimes they say when the time is right, things just happen and things flow.
Amen.
So 20 years ago, it was not the time.
Yeah.
But 20 years later, the time was right and we did it.
Damn, I did not know that. What?
At least now I've given you a good introduction.
Yeah. And it was just as good. Like, one thing that I really liked about the story, again, yes, I remember watching the film again, and because it's on My Movies Africa, by the way. If you haven't watched it, you can find it on My Movies Africa. And I was watching it, and at the beginning it says somewhere in 1991, and I was like, okay, 1991.
Yeah.
And I just random facts and statements about the film. I loved, first of all, the makeup, because in film I've done costume and makeup. That's what I would say my expertise. That's where it lies. And I looked at it like, like it looks like 1991. It looks like somewhere in the lakeside.
Yeah.
It was so good, so authentic. Like there's a whole, I don't know what word to use, but it feels very, very Kenyan.
Yeah.
It's very authentic. Nakatu, okay, this is definitely a Kenyan film in the lakeside.
Yeah.
As a producer now, I'll just go straight to the money questions.
Yeah.
Shooting any film is difficult. In terms, if you don't have the funds,
Yeah.
or just figure, even just, you've been here. Oh my God, just setting this up for you guys. Oh my God, stressful.
Yeah.
But just any production, really, it's usually just stressful in terms of getting people together and organizing the funds. How did you do that? Because I saw you had a number of people in that project.
We had over 300 people who actively were directly involved. This is in terms of crew and cast. And that is minus now the people who will help you here and there. So I think generally I dealt with around 300 people who I had to sort their salaries and everything.
Oh my God.
What happened is, before we officially said we want to go and film in Rusinga, we sat with Dr. Zippy, who is also the executive producer.
Yes.
And we really had to go through the budget. Worst case scenario, best case scenario, another scenario. I think we had like 5 different budgets.
What?
In the event things work, in the event things don't work, in the event they don't really work. And when we got the grant from Kenya Film Commission together with GIZ, we were excited because we were like, okay, so we have around 7M, so we just have to chip in around 4M. And then you look at your budget and think, this one, it's manageable. You see the script. And then we were very intentional in terms of who we wanted to work with. So we wanted to work with the best of the best. That's why we had people like Jackson Sparrow doing our cinematography, Walter Odhiambo doing being our head of Gaffer, Audi and the rest, and Sarah Wing coming in as the costume manager. But then when we sat down and we brought all these people together, of course we negotiated with them the contracts, and we go back to KFC and we tell them, as you're ready to shoot in April, and they say, yeah, go ahead, it's fine, you're going to initiate your payment. So we tell people we are traveling to Rusinga because a day before we traveled, there was also another theater show, that the one woman show that I always produce. So we were just up in the mix of, we have a show today, tomorrow we set and go to Rusinga. So that day we finished our show, left Kenya National Theatre at around 12 a.m. Then we told everyone we are meeting at Kenya National Theatre the following day. We are leaving. Before we leave, we call Kenya Film Commission, because at this time, there is no money that has come into our account. But they already told us that it's okay to go ahead. So we call Kenya Film Commission, telling them, okay, the team is traveling. We had like 50 people. I think we left Nairobi with around 4 vans and also other personal cars. So we tell them, as we are going. They say, yeah, go. And then and you know, you're traveling to Rusinga. These are like, you have 50 people. You have to look at the fuel, the transport, buying meals for people as they travel, and also the accommodation. Rusinga is a tourism destination. So even the hotels are not as cheap as other areas. And being that there are a lot of white people who usually go there, the prices are a bit exorbitant. So we left by faith, knowing Kenya Film Commission is going to sort the money for us. So we travel and we're like, we just did a show. We have made some money. We're like, you know what? From this show, let's not pay ourselves first. Let's just put that money just in the event. And then also the company account still had some money, good money that we could use to start off. So we arrive at Rusinga, and day one, no money in the account. You have 50 people. As the producer, you tell the hotel people, you know what, I'll be making the payments on a daily basis, because I wanted to do the block payments, but already you've seen the situation and you're like, no. I cannot do block payment. I cannot also do block payment for the catering person. I cannot do block payment because when you're hiring the beach, if you've hired a beach before, you know it's not like small money. You have to go high, and you're hiring the beach through the county government and also the beach management unit. So once you pay the county, it's not automatic that you'll get it, because every beach ikona wakubwa wake. You also have to sort them. And then remember, the grounds people, they're not people you'll tell them ati, oh, pesa ijaingia. Those are people who want to get their money on the daily basis. So day 1, no money. Day 2, no money. Day 3, our money is over. The money we had in the account is over. Kenya Film Commission is still telling us we are working on it. Some government procedures that need to be followed. We cannot call it quit, because that is like you have wasted 4 days. And so, and our shoot days were 14 days. By day 3, your money is already depleted. Like we were literally depleted. The account was reading zero. If not zero, probably just 100 Kenya shillings.
Oh my God.
And so now we had to start calling family, friends, some of the partners that came on board. And we negotiated, and I thank God that we had a really understanding team. Funnily, people kept on seeing me smile, and they thought everything was
everything is okay.
In fact, a day before the premiere, we were just telling some of the cast people, you guys, when we were filming, we did not have the money. They were like, us, we didn't even know. Everything was just like the food was there, the hotels was being paid for, everything they wanted. I was literally providing.
Yes,
because I always say, as a producer, number one thing is the challenges you don't let the team know. You don't talk about it. You don't act like everything, even if someone is just telling you and you're like, Maze, I wish you knew. You just tell someone, I'll work on it. But you just know that conversation has ended there. Yeah. But you don't make them, hey, now where is the money? I always say try as much as possible not to inflict the money conversation on your team, because there's a way it affects their mental, even in terms of working. Because imagine if you tell people they threaten, Maze, pesa imeisha. Some people will just leave. Or some people just feel discouraged. But I'm thankful that we were able to figure it out, and we were able to work on it, and we shot 14 days. Everyone came back to Nairobi safely. Everyone slept in their hotel room as it was planned. Everyone got the grounds people got their payment, except for the crew and cast, who now we had to pay them later. I think around June, once we already now got, because the grant was actually officially disbursed in June. Yes.
When were you shooting?
We shot in April.
And it was released in June?
It was released in June.
Damn.
That's when now we paid the cast and the crew members. But before that, anyone in Rusinga, like the locals, we finished their payment while there. We did not go with anyone's debt.
Anyone's money.
Nope. Awesome. We cleared the hotels, we cleared catering, we cleared the transport and fuel and everything, except again for some of the vans that came from Nairobi. We had the lady who gave us the vans. She was very understanding. She's called Madam Alice. Very understanding. She was patient with us. And she was like, you send me the money once you get it. And so we were able to just sort out later. Yeah.
Wow. For real, nobody would have figured Otis, after sitting down and watching the film during the premiere, dressed up all nice, people are looking good. There was a VIP section. You wouldn't have known that you guys went through all those things to put up the film. How long is it? It's 1 hour 38 minutes. Yes. A good runtime, I would say. Like we sat down and we enjoyed the film from beginning to the end. In terms of now the cinematography, there were a few scenes where they were in the water. Was that difficult for the DOP and the team?
I think it was not really difficult, because before we went with the team to Reki, we had already visited the place prior.
Okay.
We had asked all those questions in terms of what is the logistics to even film in the lake.
Yes.
Because you see the lake in terms of even the timings. There are certain times you cannot literally get in the boat to be in the water. The tides are so strong.
Okay.
So those are the questions that we asked. We did the first Reiki, second Reiki, then the third Reiki. And all this Reiki, we had these HODs asking questions. We had a mock sort of in terms of that senior boat racing. So by the time we were getting in the actual set, everything was already streamlined. The safety measures were there. We had a patrol boat, the crew boats, we had the boats they were using. So all the safety measures in regards to water safety and everything, emergency. We had swimmers on standby, professional swimmers on standby, just in the event anything happens. We had security. We had Rusinga, the Mbita police station, having police with us just in the event anything goes wrong. So in terms of pre-planning and pre-production, everything was well figured out and calculated. So we did not have any glitch or hitch in terms of filming in any location, be it in the lake or even in the villages.
Because I remember, I think we saw something about somebody in Nigeria who sadly lost his life. I can't remember his name. And they were shooting in water, and you start thinking, okay, do productions like take these things in account? And it's good to hear that for Otis Janam, that was well thought of. I mean,
that was
all
well
these
thought
measures
of.
that you're talking about I think I saw a clip on TikTok, and I was like, already looks dangerous. Why would you let this person go over there? No, what are they? Life jackets?
Yes.
None of them. And for Otis, at least we saw even on the boat,
everyone had a life jacket, including the crew. And also, you see, it also involves talking to the beach managers, because they know the extreme length you can get in the water to film. So in terms of even the territory, we had marked the territory. This is the extreme end you can get. This is the extreme on this side, on that side. In terms of timings, by this time, if you've not done, we'll call it a wrap. We'll come back tomorrow, because you cannot take chances when it comes to people's lives. And you see also, Lake Victoria also has it has its bad seasons where the tides are too strong, or they just come unexpectedly. So when the beach managers and the patrol unit, they were like, beyond this, it will be a danger. We abided by that, and we did not put anyone's life at risk.
That's really good. Just to mention the main cast, we had Nick Quach, who we know online as the baby daddy, or which is
Baba Ryan.
Baba Ryan.
Yes.
And we had Masese Sarah, who's the vice secretary, I think, of the Film Lecturers Association, something like that. FLETAC, I think that's what it's called. And she mentioned she had just had a baby or something of the sort. I was like, that's really interesting. Wali travel na mtoto all the way to Rusinga.
Yes. So what happens is we called for an audition, and as we like just going with the system and the structure. So when you call for the audition with the casting director, Lorella Joey, she was the head. So as we were just there to just ensure everything happens. So everyone came, showed up, did what they did best. But you see, by the end of the day, even if the 5 of you are the best, there's always that one person who stands out. So she came, she auditioned, and the casting director was like, I think she would make it better compared to the other people. And Masese's greatest worry was, but I just got a baby. And you see, even with having a baby, sometimes it takes a toll on someone, the stress levels, and also just memory, because I think she was like, I keep on forgetting things. I don't know how, but I keep, and we're just like, don't worry, we'll accommodate. And then also Legacy Arts and Film Lab, we are 2 women who run it. So we also do, as much as possible, try to ensure we have so many women on board, because I believe we need to create those opportunities. So when she mentioned that, we were like, okay, how best can we make it easier for you also, so that you are fully focused on your role? And she said, I think I need to travel with my baby and everything. So she traveled with her baby, the mother, the nanny, and we facilitated how they went to Rusinga. Because of now her traveling with the mother and the baby, you could not also put her in the hotel. So we sorted that out also, because you see, the hotel is not a good environment to have a young child. People think hotels are very clean, but they're never that clean. So also that was well accommodated. We used to just give her time to, if you're feeling you're tired, give her time to nap a bit. Let her, when she wants to pump some milk, we'd accommodate that. And so we just tried to work with that, and I'm glad that eventually it all worked well. The baby was well taken care of. Also, she delivered in her role.
She did. She did. I think we all loved Api, and the love that we had for Api made us hate Otis Janam towards the end. Like, what is wrong with this man? After everything this woman and her family have done for you, this is how you repay them. Sorry, I'm giving light spoiler so that you can get interested and go watch the film. But really, it was a really well put together story. In terms of this story, now getting the fund from GIZ. Let's say I'm a filmmaker. I'm sure there's somebody who's probably going to watch this and hear Vigilance. Mlipataje pesa kutoka? How do we apply? Where do we go? How do we go about it? Because I think I honestly think sometimes this there are filmmakers who probably would want, I know many who would want the chance to maybe get the fund because they have good projects in their drives and good scripts, but they don't have the funds to be able to do it. How do you go about it as a filmmaker?
I think number one, filmmakers in general, we need to start learning and knowing that filmmaking is business, it's work and not a hobby.
Yeah.
And so the way you'll go to a shop and someone has registered it and put in the structures and the system is the same way.
Yeah.
You cannot say, oh, we are not getting this money because of this and that. If they make a call for funds and the funds say, number one, you must have KRA, or your company must be legally registered.
Yeah.
And then you go ahead and apply knowing that you don't have a legally registered company. You do not file your returns. You do not even have a KRA PIN. And then you start saying, oh, this money is given to people who are known, or this money. It starts with you as a creative. Are you following the eligibility criteria? Go through the call. What do they want?
Yes.
They want you, number one, submit your bank statement. When people pay you, you don't want people to pay you via the bank method because you don't want KRA to get some tax.
Yeah.
So you keep telling people, just pay me via M-Pesa, just pay me via M-Pesa. But you see, you're not doing yourself any justice. Number two, you do not even want to remit your returns to the government. Then how do you want to access the government funds? Because KFC is a government parastatal.
Yes.
For them, they also very keen in terms of, does this company submit their annual returns to the government? Because it's the same returns that now is distributed to different parastatals to help people. So number one, if you do not have a company yet, please just register, because this is not only for the local companies. Even in the international funding nowadays, they want legally registered entities because it's easier, number one, to follow up in case they disappear with the funds. But imagine if I want to give you 7 million, person A, you don't have any registered anything. We don't even know you in actual sense. And then person B, their story might not be that good.
Yes.
But they followed all the criteria in terms of they submitted their returns. They showed that they are registered. They had the bank statement. They had the letter from the bank showing this is our client. We know them. They've been banking with us for this particular period. They had a team that was able to give them the CV. Who would you give your money? Because by the end of the day, you want to give someone your money who you can easily trace in case anything does not happen. And then also there's this element of integrity. Once you get the money, are you going to do what you said?
Oh my God.
Because I think KFC before, even in that, the empowerment program fund, there are some filmmakers who were given money. They never shot anything. And so I think even KFC is trying to follow up with them because some of these people, they just became malicious. So also do you have high level of integrity to know I was given this money to create the film and I have to see that I work with it through till the creation, the distribution. I think I think for us, we did our best. Our budget went way beyond even what we received. Because our initial budget was around 9.5, but we ended up using around 12M. So, and KFC gave us like 6.68. So the rest we had to figure out how to get it. And we figured it out, and we showed them that this is the money you gave us. We accounted for it. And so even as a filmmaker, once you receive that fund, don't start saying, oh, nimekuwa nikitaka kununua shamba. I really want that car. And so you start using, when you get that money, have the integrity, have an accountant who will help you to now break it down to know, if I have to, if they tell me today, can you give us the statement that shows how you made the transaction? You don't panic because you know I was paying for this. You print the statement and you give the commission, and they able. And I think they approved and they saw we did what we did with the money, and we reconciled. We accounted for it, even in terms of giving people contracts. When the contracts read, we are giving you 100K. It matches with the statement. So it's just having integrity, being curious to also go through the internet. I think there's so much information in regards to available funding. Where creatives go wrong is the entitlement of Nikona story Noma. It's not just because of the story you have. It's because of, are you going to follow the process? Are you going to be able to trust someone to handle the money? Yes, you're the one who has the idea. Their money has to be in your account of the company, yes. But can you get an accountant who will do the transactions so that when I'm on set and running around, at least I know there's someone who will be keeping me on track, giving me daily reports of today we had said we're going to use 200,000. We ended up using 250. So can you make sure tomorrow you don't go overboard. Yes.
Wow. You said something that I think, again, most filmmakers really don't think about, thinking of film as a business.
Yeah.
And now you're mentioning an accountant. I'm sure there's so many filmmakers who are like, an accountant, easy bank, like easy a corporate job. This is film. And you've said something really interesting about filmmakers not taking film as a business. What careers, those spaces like an accountant, the ones that we really don't think of? For film, we know I need a producer, a director, somebody with sound, costume. What other people or careers? I'm trying to find a word to use, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say. What other those people do we need to have? You mentioned an accountant.
You need an accountant. You need a lawyer. Because even you, before you sign that contract of getting that grant, can you get a legal mind to read and know the terms? Because you'll just be seeing the 6.8, but what does it come with? Or the 1 million or the 2 million? What does it come with? Does it mean if they give you that money, they become the sole owners of your work?
Yes.
Or does it mean that probably in case of what you're supposed to, those small terms that you might not really take them as something serious. So you need to have a lawyer, you need to have an accountant, you need to have a first aid person on set, someone who can administer in case of anything, a paramedic, something. In case that you cut yourself or something happens, you need the police around. You need to have cooks, catering. You see the hospitality side. You need to have a locations person is not just a locations person really, but a people's person. So as much as even me as a producer, there are areas I cannot access. You might say, I have the money, so I can just pay these people. But there are locations like, for example, Kibra. If you do not talk to the head of that area, you'll not access it. And if you access it, you'll not come out with the equipment. So all these departments are very integral and very important, and there is no shortcut. You see, I think sometimes why our industry struggles is we really do not see it as work.
We see it as a hobby.
We see it as a hobby,
an expensive hobby.
Exactly. You see the way in a school there is a watchman. Do you think it was necessary for even village schools to have watchmen? But why is the watchman there?
Why is the
watchman there? Why do we have cleaners? See, the teachers can still just tell the kids, clean your classes. Why do you have cleaners in school? Because it's an entity. It's not a standalone thing. Film is not a standalone thing. And that's why even me as a producer, I'll always go to any event. It might be a lawyer's event. I'm not going there because I'm a lawyer. I'm going there because I want to increase my network. I'll always talk to doctors, not because I am a doctor or I'm interested in being a doctor, but I'm looking at it long term. If I'm going on a set and I need doctor or I need a nurse, I can call this doctor and be like, hey, I'm going to this place. We really need to have a medic. Can you help us source for... Because nowadays we have these medics who they don't want to be employed in the hospitals. So they work on sets in different areas. But how will I know them if I don't interact with people within their space? How will I know how to approach the police for security if I don't talk to these policemen? How will I know an accountant if I don't talk to the accounting person and even just tell them the dynamics? Having this conversation, KRA keeps on calling creatives to attend the webinars where they teach people about filing returns. If you do not attend those things and you have an accountant who has never interacted with the creative industry, how are you going to bring the balance to tell this accountant, you know what, the creative industry is a bit different? Because unlike other areas where people file the monthly returns, for example, KRA keeps on calling the webinars. How many creatives attend? I get their emails. Sometimes we find in that whole webinar, you're the only creative. And you're like, how are we going to tell the government that, our industry is very, very different? Our dynamics are very different. Whereas corporate world or this government parastatals, people get their payment monthly. Sometimes you can get good pay in 3 months, then 2 months you're dry. And so how will KRA get those voices if they keep calling these webinars and we are not there? Attend? So I think it also starts with us just taking our space seriously and looking at it beyond the present. Where do we want to see the industry? And the same way, I think one of the key things that me and Dr. Zippy have always also established is we must have interns. We must have interns no matter what, because the internship opportunity you're giving to these young people, it is not only for the work power for your side, but is also a way of creating the industry skills sustainability. Because if I get a student from school and I attach them under a person who has, like, for example, like I get students who are interested in lighting and I put them under Walter.
Yeah.
Walter has been in the industry for, I think, over 15 years.
Yeah.
His skills are beyond what people learn in class.
Yes, absolutely.
And the practical knowledge that you'll gain will boost your confidence. And when you give these young people from an early age the opportunity to be on set, you're also trying to expose them and build their mindset.
Yes.
So that they think and they see, okay, so it's possible to actually earn a living from this industry. So as we see it in a whole different ballgame. It's not only about us, because legacy will still exist even if you're not there.
Yes.
But how will it exist? By us incorporating and bringing on board so many people.
Yes. Yeah. Collaboration. At least one thing that I can say for a fact, I knew you from LinkedIn after I reviewed Bangarang, and I think you commented on one of the posts.
Yeah.
And I would say, for real, Vigilance, thank you so much for that whole aspect of taking in new people to help them learn. I remember when I first met you, now physically, no, it was at WIFA, and then now at the film summit, and you told me, go on, keep talking to those people, don't be afraid. And I would say, for sure, thank you so much for that even. And now that whole taking interns thing, do you pay interns now that the government is telling doctors? I think the intern doctors, the medical interns, were being paid 200K, now it's 70K.
At Legacy, we pay our interns. Of course, the rates are different.
Of course, yeah.
But our interns do not leave empty-handed.
Okay, great.
And we cater for them. And in fact, we don't call them interns.
Yeah.
We don't call them interns on site. We say you're an assistant.
Okay.
So they get payment, because I don't like the term intern. It's like you're making someone feel like they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They might not know as much knowledge, but at least they know something. So we refer to them as assistants. Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Now, a topic that I'm really passionate about, marketing and distribution for Otis Janam. Just give us a feel of how you've gone about it, because we're seeing you guys everywhere. At least I am.
Let me tell you, we are still thinking. We are even thinking with Dr. Zippy, can we just become also a marketing company for creative projects? Because we've learned over the years through our theater productions.
Yes.
We do our own marketing on our own.
Wow.
We tried working with marketers. It was like, because marketers in Kenya, the first thing is, so for me to do for you marketing, you'll just pay me 100,000. You're like, highball. You're not even telling me what you're going to give me. And then they're like, okay, so from that 100,000, I need a deposit of 50,000 before I start the work.
As a marketer, I don't know what to say.
So we were like, you know what? Because we are visionary. So when we started the One Woman show, we started building our clientele from there. So people come to our show. Then once they leave, we're like, thank you so much for attending. We'll be having another show. We'll be doing this. And we use our social media. I think my social media is like my platform, even Dr. ZP.
Yes.
So we use our social media as our marketing platforms. And when it comes to even responding to the most silliest comment,
you do.
We will respond to all of them. We do not ignore. We do not snob. So we give feedback. We respond, but also we've built a clientele. We have our circles of friends. We have our circles on social media. We also have people who happen to be influential on these social media platforms, or our friends who we also rely on, people like Abakove Wala, Debra Auko, the likes of Jagero. So as any contact that we have, and me, I think during when I was marketing Otis Janam, my phone was just Otis Janam everywhere. If someone tells me, call me on Monday. On Monday, I've already marked it in my diary. On Monday, I need to call this one at this time, and I'll make sure I call and I follow up. And every day, we look at our financial reports in terms of the account. How many tickets are we sold today? What was our target? We targeted to sell maybe 20 tickets per day. Today we sold only 5. We're like, so tomorrow we have to go harder. And we encourage each other. And also we pray a lot about it. And we're like, don't worry. Sometimes we call ourselves, I call Dr. Zip and just like, you know what, God will provide. You're just like, God, I am just trusting in you to make a way. I don't know if you're even listening, but God will provide. And so Dr. Zip will just be, Vigilance, don't worry, it will be well. And I'm like, there are days she's the one encouraging me, there are days I'm the one encouraging her. There are days we're like, oh, God has done it for us. Oh, yeah, we see. And then also we said, what's the worst that can happen? We approach corporates. We approach anyone who we think would come on board, and always say, it is all in your mind.
Yes.
If you feel defeated in your mind, no matter what effort you put, you'll always see like there's no progress. But if you have that positive mindset, of saying, I will talk to Gloria. If she responds well and good, nice. If she doesn't respond, you just like, it was not the time. Or the timing was just not right. You don't sulk about it. But when it comes to marketing of film and theater shows, as a producer, if you don't put in the work, you'll have an empty hall. You will have an empty hall. And I think for us, even that day at KICC, we sold out. We're telling guys, it is sold out. We are going to give you another screening. People are like, no. Me, I'm not going.
I remember people were locked out.
It even happens when you're doing the theater shows. You tell people, Kenya National Theatre can only carry 350. There was that last show before we went to film in Rusinga. We're telling people, guys, the whole people are like, we don't mind standing. We will stand. Tutasimama. Like, it is 1 hour, 30 minutes. They're like, but we have said we'll stand. So you just say, okay, me, I don't. If you're fine standing, you pay via the till number, you'll stand. Even this time, that's why there was a bit of commotion at some point, because you're telling people we are sold out. People are like, someone tells you, Vigilance, I've been coming to your shows. You want me to go home? Am I going home? No, me, I'm not going home. Me, I don't mind standing. So we had to like call now KICC management. We're like, we need extra seats. Because as you had planned for 400. I think by the time everyone was in, we had like 550 people. Because we had like 125 extra tickets that were sold at the gate. And you're like, hey, after his juzi tukikwa anga during on 20th, you're like, guys, it is sold out. Someone is like, I'm already here. I planned to come and watch. I am not going anywhere. Me, I want a space. So you start now telling your current cast, guys, tuende tu nje tupige story tuache hizi viti. Sisi tumesha watch. So it's like, I think it's because we've built that client and people see we are very consistent. At least we always have something happening. And also I think don't just know people. Even in your DM, even if those people would just like, hey, you're like, hi, good morning. Have you bought our tickets first before I talk to you? You are marketing. But you're not ignoring. So don't know people if you're in this industry. Talk to everyone when you get to an event, talk about the work that is happening. Tell people, oh, by the next month, there is this show. Will you attend? If someone says, yes, I'll attend, you take their number. Even during the film summit, I think when people asked for us to give them the discount, we were like, and people bought with the discount. And even during lunch hour, people are eating us. We were just telling people, have you bought the ticket? Have you buy now? So it's just jitume too. If you don't do in the work, you'll have an empty hall. And you can't put the pressure of marketing your product to the director, not the director, your cast. Cast, they already
how many
delivered.
Tickets have you sold? Surely, I worked on the crew.
So as we're just like, okay, guys, if you want to also market on your end, these are the materials, but we did not fully rely on the cast and crew to market it, which
is great.
Yes, and also I think when we got now the media, we had already made the media plan. We were like, hey, who wants to attend? Because also by the end of the day, especially for the actors, it's good also to give them that platform. So you'd find someone say, oh, yes, I don't mind attending the K24 one. I don't mind going to Citizen one. Because you see now when they're going there, they're not only talking about Otis Janam as the film, but they're also talking about themselves and marketing themselves. So it's a give and take kind of situation. Yes.
Nice. Honestly, because I would say marketing is the one thing. For most Kenyan films, I realize after the premiere, we never hear anything about the film. Kama imeingia Netflix, mtambua tu, utakuwa unaona kwa socials zake once in a while. I'm on Netflix and then that's it. Or on My Movies Africa or on Showmax. But really, the filmmakers don't continue the marketing after.
Yes.
in terms of distribution, where else might we see, apart from now we're aware that it's on My Movies Africa, is there any other places that we're going to see it, any festival runs?
Yeah, so we are actually in a conversation with one of the Netflix distributors from Kenya, trying to see if they will take the film, of course, with our budget, because we produced that film with over 12M.
Yes.
So we can't get anything less.
Yeah.
And then also, we are trying also to just, of course, we work with a plan and a strategy. So we're already trying to highlight some of the festivals we'd want to submit it to. We've already started also a plan of doing groups screenings.
Yeah.
So if you're a group of 15 plus, tell us, call us. Then we'll organize for you a beautiful screening just with you and your team and discussion. We're also just planning now to take it to different platforms. Of course, sorry. Of course, the financial aspect really matters, but definitely festivals are in our plan. Across Kenya, it's in our plan.
Yes.
Even with Parliament, we are trying to see if we can do a parliamentarian screening. So we have that conversation of, you've seen that work. Can you guess how much it costs? Can you guess how many people are involved? Can you guess the logistics? So that when they're making those laws for the creatives, they can know what it takes to produce a work like that. So we are trying to see if we can do an in-house parliamentarian type of screening. The corporate world, of course, we're still having conversations, even with the Kenya Bankers Association. We're trying to reach out to them so that they can be able also to know when we come to you. Not even to make banks, but we want to change the trajectory. So that for the longest time, even us, we had a challenge in terms of accessing the bank bond letter. We had an account with a certain bank, but they still couldn't give us because it's a creative company. And so for them, a creative company is a risk.
It's a risk.
And so we want to have that conversation and tell them, we produced it with this much. So far, we've been able to have this return. So it's not really a risk. It just depends on how do you see it.
Yeah, and how you look at it, how you plan it.
Yes. But I'm happy to see there's so many filmmakers in Kenya who are doing beautiful work. Many people now have realized we need to have legally registered production companies. We have so many of them. We have people who have also recognized that partnership and collaboration is the way forward.
Absolutely.
So right now you find, like, whether it's a short film or a feature film, there's that collaboration aspect. You'll find 3 or 4 production houses involved, and that has always been legacy policy. I don't think there's any project we've done minus collaboration. That's like one of the things we are really important at trying to embrace and incorporate in all our projects.
Awesome. So we cannot finish talking about Otis Janam without talking about the music that was in this film, the score. You had Okelo Max, you had Winyo and Edie Achie.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about that? The music was really good. My favorite song, I think, was The Champion, and the score. Otis Janam.
I'm a champion.
Yeah, I'm a champion.
So because it's a Luo film, we wanted to find the best and the best of Luo artists, but those who have a bit of Benga background to read. So Okelo Max, of course, he sounds really nice.
Yes, he does.
And he does like good pieces. So we were like, we can work with him. We also, Winyo is like Dr. Zippy's longtime friend. And so it was also easier to just have him on board. And Edie has like very unique vocal. I think my best song that she did was Arito Single. That part where she does, it's like, Dad, I've kept the promise. And even for me, I always say, this journey of filmmaking, it's for my dad. That man has, you see the way parents will say, you must be a lawyer, you must be a doctor. I think my dad has been my greatest support system. He's always been there. He's like, you want to study film, you go for it. You're doing this, you do. Like, he's made it okay for me to follow my dreams, to follow my own path, to tell my own story. And so the day we were in the studio, when Winyo and Edie Achie were in the studio, we went there just to see what they were doing. I think that day we got to the studio by 12 noon. We left at 3 a.m. And by the time it was 2 a.m, we were like, Edie, we just need a song from your heart. And she was like, okay. give me the beat, and the sound engineer was just giving her the beat.
Yeah.
And we listened to that song and everyone was in tears. Everyone was crying. We're like, God, damn
this
it.
is the one.
This is the song.
Yeah.
Because it's not a song that only speaks for the film. It's a song that when you listen to it and you understand it word by word, for some of us,
yeah, it's deeper than just the film. And Okello Marx, we tried to reach out to him before, then it was a bit difficult because you see they have the managers and stuff like that. So we were like, can we just get him to have that conversation? And then on that day, I was not available because I had other errands to run. And so Dr. Zippy went, sat with him, explained to him, this is the project, this is the kind of song we'd like. And he was very chilled about it. He was like, I'll go to the studio. When do you want it? We were like, how fast can you give it? And I think in the next 72 hours, it made a beat. And we just had like a little corrections in terms of the words that you wanted to leave it there. And he made it happen. And it still goes back to, how do you talk to people? How do you relate to people? Some of these people, someone like Okello Marx, his rate is like there. But if you talk to them nicely and you make them see the value of them working with you, it's easy. So it all goes back to, how do you talk to people? How do you approach people? You might not afford me, but if you talk to me nicely, I can do it for free. That's the thing. Yeah.
So just master as a filmmaker, not only for filmmakers, but as a human being, learn to talk to people nicely. Learn to blend with people so that when you want them to come in for you in favors, it becomes a bit easier. Yes. But all these artists, we thank them. We couldn't afford their rates, but we thank them that they saw the vision and they really, really gave their best.
And they
delivered. I think all the music that we have, they're just beautiful masterpieces. They are. We're trying to see how we can now turn some of them into like music videos also for the artists, just as an appreciation. So that is also in the streamline.
That's really
good.
You want to
do, yes.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Then they must be happy that they agreed to work with you guys.
I mean,
just like that, they have another song and it's a hit song, and the fact that it's associated with the film makes the song even bigger.
It's just talking to people. These musicians, they just want people to talk to them. Just tell them whatever you want. Come to an agreement. And when you come to an agreement, abide by it. It's also that thing of, still goes back to integrity. Do you have the integrity to keep your word to the end? Yes.
So you're basically, if a filmmaker is looking for somebody to do the score, unawaambia tu uongeleshe to the musicians vizuri, because most of the films again that we have, like we've had this sound in the other film and the other film, we keep using the same sounds. I guess they're getting it from a bank somewhere.
Because I think there was a session I once attended at Gote, and at that time I think it was Mudhoni, the drama queen, and she was like, she wonders why filmmakers don't approach them. Because they make music, and you can use their music in your film, in your film. And so she was like, you just make this assumption that I am too unaffordable, like I'm expensive, I'm not approachable. But if you talk to me and I see the value of me being in your project, even if you do not afford my rate, I'll still come on board. So just master the craft of negotiating and people skills, so that you know how to interact. Even Walter, I know his rates are not billions, but millions of shillings for such a project. But when you negotiate with someone, and also just beyond your workspace, build actual relationships. Don't keep quiet with me for 3 years, and then one day when you want a favor, you're like, Hi Vigilance, long time. So I'll be like, I'll see about it, but there's nothing I'll see. So once in a while, check on the people. Sometimes it's telling someone hi, and that's why I think even when people go to Maju, they cut the link, because I travel to the US and you don't talk to me for 5 years, and then one day you just wake up and you're like, I'm in this mess, they're about to close my door. It's not bad to ask for help, but don't talk to me because you want help. And also do not ask for help if you don't talk to me. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you want us to build that actual relationship, find a way to build an actual network, an actual connection that will go beyond the workspace.
All right. That's good advice. So I think I will take it for myself, even in my personal life. So lastly, what plans do you have for Otis Janam henceforth as we wind up?
As we wind up, we just want so many people to get to watch it. We want to distribute it to every corner of Kenya. Probably if we get the right support, we might even just go to places like Turkana and just have the community watch and just have a good time with it. And by the end of the day is we have to bring back the returns. The financial investment must come back.
Yes.
So we are going to do everything possible to ensure we bring back the returns. And Otis Janam is not the last project from us. We've seen the potential of doing vernacular stories. And so we are going to build more and more scripts, develop more scripts, submit to as many funding opportunities as possible. Because we still do not have the capacity to say we as an in-house we can still produce something worth that amount. But we believe with the right collaborations and financial structures will bring more stories. And most importantly for us, it's just to make the creative industry better. Awesome. Even for us, it's not like we're perfect. We still have our own limitations. We still have our own weaknesses in the industry, even within the work that we do. But every day is a learning lesson. Every day we strive to do better. And most importantly, try to be different. Just because everyone is doing Amapiano doesn't mean you have to do it.
Why did it have to be
Because yesterday I was in the car with someone and they kept on insisting I want to listen to Amapiano, and I'm like, just because it's what's trending doesn't mean it's the right thing. So try to find your niche, because as we found our niche is in telling African stories. So probably your niche is documentaries, or someone else's niche is reality TV, or someone else's niche will be thriller or sci-fi. I don't even know how to go about sci-fi. So find your niche and build on it, and be intentional in everything you do. Be intentional with your finances, be intentional with your goals. If you say by December I need to have produced 2 feature films, and December reaches and you've not done anything, ask yourself, am I doing myself a favor? So be intentional with your goals. Just because everyone is saying, oh, by next year I will buy a car, don't go with that narrative, because dynamics are different. Situations are different.
Absolutely.
Dreams and goals and how people move around it. So be intentional with everything that you do. Be intentional with people you talk to. Be intentional with people you spend your time with, because it all goes back. The consequences, it comes back to
me.
Yes.
Well, nimepewa motivational speech. Anyway, thank you so much. I really appreciate you for your time. Please note, guys, you can still watch Otis Janam on My Movies Africa.
Yes.
As
and
she's mentioned,
if they are a group of more than 15, they can talk to us and we'll organize for them either a cinema or just somewhere private where they can watch the film and have a good time.
How do they reach you?
You can follow our social media platforms, that is Legacy Arts and Film Lab or Otis Janam Film, on both Facebook and Instagram. Once you reach us via DM or ama even on the timeline, we'll definitely reach out and get in touch.
Awesome. So 15 people, we're good to go.
As long as you're 15 people, you're good to go.
Okay.
We have different packages for 15, 50,
That's expensive.
Affordable. We are very affordable, you know. We have 5,000, 4,000 per person. You know, tunaweza bargain, but it's chini ya 3K. Because now that one we want to give you a good experience. Hire the cinema for you. Make sure you have some snacks there. Or a drink or 2. So si kitu ya kushinda mtu. Pesa kidogo sana.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming through. I really appreciate it for your time. I would say you're one of the most approachable people I have met this year.
Oh, thank you.
Really, honestly, it was very easy to talk to you, even meeting you at WIFA. I'm really glad that you came. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank
and you're
you.
doing great. Otis Janam was a good film. I will write about it. So if you don't follow me on LinkedIn, I have a newsletter called Talk Phone to Me, where I write about stuff that I don't talk about here. Yeah. It's all there. She's one of my biggest supporters there. So yeah, it's a wrap, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week with another review. This was the review of Otis Janam with Vigilance Atieno, who is the producer of Otis Janam. You can follow me on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook. I have a WhatsApp channel, on LinkedIn. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's a wrap. See you next week, same time, same place. Bye.
Thank you.